and Frankenstein. Valentine vote. Amanda Pinkerton stared hard into the mirror over the bathroom sink. She placed the knuckle of her index finger under the tip of her nose and pushed up. She turned her head to the right, then to the left. She opened her eyes wider and leaned right into the mirror for a super close-up. Amanda, her mother called from downstairs. I'll be right there. You're going to be late for school. No, I won't. I can already see Walter coming toward here. He'll be at the door any minute. Amanda sighed. Walter was always at the door 10 minutes earlier than necessary. Her mother had...
What?
Are you okay?
You okay?
Her mother had left a stick of lip gloss on the counter, and Amanda tried some on.
It's not working, means.
It's broken. She smiled at herself in the mirror and then tried the upturned nose effect again. Amanda! Mom, I'll be right there. Amanda gave the mirror a quick wave and hurried downstairs, grabbing her books from the hall table on the way. I put some bananas in your cereal, her mother said, setting a bowl down on Amanda's place at the table. Thanks. If you got down here earlier in the morning, you could get a ride with your dad, Mrs. Pinkerton said this every morning. I know, Mom. Jackie Sue gets a ride every day. Jackie Sue is Amanda's younger sister. I like to walk, Mom. It's healthier than riding in an overheated car. You should walk too, and I'm never late. Walter's here, Mrs. Pinkerton said and opened the kitchen door. Walter Brinkman was Amanda's neighbor. Both the Pinkertons and the Brinkmans had moved to Daisy Lane at the same time. Walter and Amanda were the same age. They had gone to play school, day camp, and elementary school together. Walter had always called for Amanda every morning for school, and still did, even though they were in the 5th grade now and pretty grown up. Amanda didn't mind. Walter was her oldest friend. She liked him, even though some of the girls still teased her about him. They sometimes made fun of Walter, which bothered Amanda, and she said so. Now he was standing over her, watching her eat Rice Krispies with bananas. Hi, Amanda, he offered timidly, and stuck a finger into the collar of his parka to loosen it. Walter, Amanda mumbled, chewing. Walter shifted from one foot to another. It's cold out, he said. Amanda grunted. Well, it's supposed to be. It's winter, Walter said, and then he honked. Amanda's friend Karen called it Walter's honk, but it was more of a snort. Amanda defended him and said it was the way Walter laughed, inhaling through his nose, and made the sound which resembled and made the other kids snicker and giggle. So Walter tried hard not to honk in front of them, but Amanda was different. Amanda slurped the last of the cereal and looked up at the spoon. It was sticky for the lip gloss she had forgotten to blot. Ready, Walter asked eagerly. Amanda, wear your scarf, her mom said. Okay, she began to load herself under the outerwear requirements for winter in upstate New York. Let's go, Walter, she said. Here's your lunch, her mother handed her a brown paper bag. Thanks. Don't forget your books, Amanda, Walter said, scooping them up. I won't forget them, Walter, Amanda said. Wow, is it cold, Amanda said, pulling the scarf tighter around her neck. Told you. They headed down the block, crunching snow under their shoes. The snow wasn't fresh, but it tended to stick around for a long time. Walter sniffled. Did you hear the book report, the biography, he said? Yeah, I did Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson? You did Mike Tyson? Yeah, Walter, I did Mike Tyson. You're not supposed to do sports, people. Who said? Mrs. Tragg just said biography. Walter scratched his head with his mittened fingers. I did Martin Luther King. Well, that's okay, too. Come on, Amanda, he was important. Amanda looked at him. Mrs. Tragg didn't say the subject had to be important, Walter. They walked on in silence for a while. Only one more year and we'll be at the junior high, Walter said, looking at the overcast sky. That'll be great. Yeah, I'll bet I'll be different in junior high. Amanda tilted her head. Different how? Oh, I don't know, just different. There'll be a lot more kids in our class, from the other elementary schools, so I'll have some new people to be with. Amanda thought about that. You don't like the kids we're with now, she asked, but she thought she knew the answer. Walter didn't have many friends, as she had. In fact, Amanda frowned. He really didn't have, some, Walter said quickly. I like some, but I think I'd do better in a different environment. Amanda wasn't sure about that. Walter would still be Walter no matter what the environment, she thought. He'd honk through his nose, and he'd still wear that look on his face that announced to the world that if he were a puppy, he'd be the last one to be picked out of the whole kennel. At least he always got good grades. That didn't seem to help. Amanda smiled at him to make him feel better anyways. He reached a Barker Goodhue Elementary School, named after a long-dead wealthy man who had donated a lot of money to their town, just as the next to the last bell was ringing, and everybody was hurrying inside. Bye, Walter, Amanda called as she ran towards the door, but she didn't wait for his answer. She had seen two of her girlfriends waving and holding the open door for her. Hi, Karen, Amanda called, bouncing up the stairs. Hi, Jen. Hi, Amanda. Don't you want to wait for your boyfriend? Karen teased. Amanda made a bored face. Karen snorted, and Jen giggled. Stop. Walter's really nice. You shouldn't be so mean, Amanda said. Oh, I know Walter's not bad, Karen said. He's a stick, Jen said. He's just like a stick, straight and boring and no fun. And he always looks like he should be wearing one of those signs on his back that says, kick me. Stop, I mean it. I wouldn't let anyone say anything bad about you two, so don't say anything bad about Walter. He's my friend, too. Anyway, Walter can be fun. She looked at their faces. He can, she insisted. Uh-oh, there's the last bell. They all hurried to their homeroom. Melissa Goodbits was the president of Amanda's 5th grade class. Amanda didn't do very much as president except remind everybody in the class that she was president and to have her parents remind all their relatives and friends about it too. The office of the president of Mrs. Trigg's 5th grade class was really an honorary position, but it taught the class something about the election process and how it worked. Occasionally, Melissa presided over a homeroom meeting, and she always got to choose which person would lead the Pledge of Allegiance each morning. Now today, as Melissa stood at the front of the room, smugly surveying the class to find someone deserving of the honor she was about to bestow, Karen and Amanda cringed. She wants press conferences, like the real president, Karen whispered. She wants to be on TV and have big dinner parties with the other class president. She wants a helicopter to fly her to camp in Europe and stuff. Yeah, Amanda sighed, but we elected her. We can't complain. Well, I can complain. I didn't vote for her, neither did you. Amanda giggled. Everyone in the whole class says they didn't vote for Melissa. So how did she get to be president anyhow? I think she wrote out a whole bunch of extra ballots with her name on them and then put them in the box herself. Remember Mrs. Trigg taught us? It's called stuffing the ballot box. Only they can't do that today too easily because they've got it computerized. Karen jumped and sat straight up. Huh? Melissa was pointing at her. I pick you, she said. For the pledge? Amanda whispered and poked Karen's arm. Oh, Karen stood and made her way to the front. Aren't you going to say thank you? Melissa hissed at her as she went by. Karen dipped into a curtsy and the class laughed. Usually the Pledge of Allegiance, their first subject for the day, was English. Amanda was opening her notebook to the book report, and Mrs. Trigg tapped her pencil on the desk. Before we get to the reports, boys and girls, Melissa has something she'd like to discuss with you. Melissa? Someone in the back of the room groaned, but Melissa ignored it. She folded her hands together and smiled at her classmates. Well, you know that next Tuesday is Valentine's Day, right? We know, Karen sighed. She's already pushed through a Valentine's dance for next week. What does she want us to do now? Dress up as hearts for it? I forgot about that dance, Amanda said. It's Friday, isn't it? Yeah, we couldn't get to gym on Tuesday. Sounds so exciting. I can't wait. Can you? Karen yawned. And I was thinking that we ought to reinstate the custom of a Valentine's Day box, Melissa continued. A what? Someone asked. Jen leaned over her desk and tapped Amanda. Valentine box, she asked. The last time we had one was in 3rd grade, Melissa went on. We all made it an art, remember? Everyone cut out the hearts and things and we pasted them on this big box and we all brought in Valentine's cards for our friends. Remember? No, one of the boys said. Yes, you do. It was fun. It was an old tradition. I think it's old-fashioned holiday celebrated in an old-fashioned way. I think we should do it again. We should have the box and we should bring Valentine's to put in it. Wait a minute, Karen said. We're having a Valentine dance. Doesn't that take care of the tradition box? Melissa frowned. A Valentine's box is fun, she insisted. Oh, it's okay when you're in 3rd grade, Melissa, but don't you think we're a little old for that now? No. The only people who like Valentine boxes are people who get lots of Valentines, Jen said. What makes Melissa think she's going to get a lot of them? Karen giggled. The same thing that makes her think she got elected as president. She'll write them herself. Karen, Amanda said chidingly, but she smiled. Let's take a vote, one of the boys called out loud. See how the class feels about it. No, Melissa said quickly. We're going to do it the way they did it in the United States Senate. She nodded smugly for the emphasis. We're going to have a discussion about it. In the back, someone groaned. She always gets her way, Laura left sighed. A boy named Buddy, sitting to Amanda's left, tapped her on the shoulder. When she turned to face him, he handed her a slip of paper. Note, he said, indicating someone from the back had passed it to him. Amanda unfolded it. Vote no, please, Amanda. Make everyone vote no, the note read. Amanda turned around. From the back row near the closets, Walter was signaling frantically to her. No, he was mouthing. Vote no. I do remember Valentine's boxes, Carol and Burke were saying. They were kind of fun. You never put your name on the Valentine's. You always send a non-sleeve, someone you really like. And then he or she had guess who sent it. And Melissa added, if that person likes you back then what, Karen wanted to know. Then you could get to know each other better, which you never would have done if someone would have sent the card. It's babyish, Jen said. Kenny Eckhart agreed. Forget it, he said. Melissa folded her arms and planted her feet firmly in front of her. We have the Valentine's Day dance next Friday, but we don't have anything special on Tuesday, which is a real holiday. If we have the Valentine's box, then we won't have last period social studies. Kendi said, huh? No social studies. But we're having a quiz, Jen said. Melissa looked over to teacher, Mrs. Trigg, said if we voted to have the Valentine's box, we could have a party. We'd have the quiz the next Monday instead. Then we'd have the whole weekend to study for it. Want to have a vote now? She grinned at them. Yeah, vote, Donnie Greenfield yelled. Amanda turned around to look at Walter. His face had crumpled. Poor Walter, she thought. He's worried because he thinks he'll be the only one in class who won't get any Valentines. She glanced around the room. He could be right. Melissa called for a vote. All the hands but Walter's were in the air. Even Karen voted yes.
After finish music.
Yeah, it's fun.
Producing vampires. Yeah. It looks like not even riders.
Sounds like walking.
I don't hear any walking. Do you hear walking?
Yes.
Where at?
Alicia.
Oh, okay. Where's she at? Upstairs?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I can hear her above you.
Libra big or little? Little? Libra that's so good chef horse. Really don't like
One more game, then filming off. When we're outside, this one looks like.
Just get nighttime body, that's all.
Filming.
Melissa folded her arms and planted her feet firmly in front of her. We have the Valentine's dance next Friday, but we don't have anything special on Tuesday, which is a real holiday. If we have the Valentine box, and we won't have last social period. Kenny said, huh? No social studies, but we're having a quiz. All of a sudden, everybody was voting for the same thing. Even Karen voted yes. Poor Walter. I think I spoke too soon, Jen sighed as she and Amanda and Karen walked towards the art room. All I was thinking about was getting out of the social
Out of
studies
kicks
quiz.
means.
No more kicks left. They're all gone. I know. But now I have to think about Valentine's. Do we actually have to send one? It doesn't matter, Karen said with a shrug. You don't have to put your name on it, so go for it. I mean, think about the person you really like, she grinned slyly. I don't really like any boy in our class, Amanda said. Oh, come on, Amanda. You always said Kenny was cute. Kenny Eckhart? Amanda, there's only one Kenny in the whole 5th grade. In spite of herself, Amanda blushed. I'd feel so stupid sending a Valentine card to Kenny Eckhart. Anyways, he'll probably get one from every girl in the class. What about you two? Who you'll be sending Valentines to? Jen and Karen looked at each other. I don't know, said Jen, making a face. Me neither, Karen sighed. Why don't we just send them to our girlfriends like we did in the 3rd grade? No way we can at least be assured of getting one. I think I sent one to Mark Smith in the 3rd grade, Jen said. You did? Amanda asked. Why did you sign it? Oh, I was very original, Jen replied. I signed it. Guess who? Of course he did. He did? He guessed? How? Because when he opened it, he looked all around the class, and I was the only one looking right back at him with a face as red as the stripes on the flag. And when he saw me and his jaw dropped about a mile, I burst into the most hysterical fit of giggling I ever had. I've never been more embarrassed about anything my whole life. I can't believe you two don't remember it. I don't remember it, Amanda said, and I don't remember you're ever telling us about it either. They reached the art class, started to work at their tables. The art teacher was a tall, red-headed woman whose name was Mrs. Sims, who was very fond of abstract art and encouraged freedom of expression in her students. When they had painted self-portraits back in October, she framed and hung the ones that looked least like their models. Amanda's portrait resembled squares and circles inside a pentagon, and Miss Sims gave it in a place of honor. You need help? Okay. Here. Give me your iPad. I'll hold it for you while you do whatever you're doing. She framed and hung the ones that looked least like their models. Amanda's portrait resembled squares and circles inside a pentagon, and Mrs. Sims gave it in place of honor. Class, I understand you have a Valentine's party on Tuesday. How did you find out so soon, Jen asked. We just voted. Melissa probably told her last week, Karen said. So today I think we'll use the period to make the Valentine box and some decorations for the dance. There was a little groan from the back of the room. Amanda recognized it. She turned around, but Walter had his face buried in his arm on his desk, so she couldn't give him a encouraging smile. I guess we should make hearts, huh? Laura asked. Well, the heart has always been a symbol of Valentine's Day. That's true, Miss Sims agreed. So let's see what original ideas you can come up with. That means, Karen said, cut out green and black rectangular hearts. Amanda giggled. Amanda didn't walk home with Walter that afternoon, but they often didn't end the school day together. Walter had piano lessons on Mondays and allergy shots on Tuesdays. Amanda had CAP on Tuesdays and Girl Scouts on Wednesdays. Today was Thursday, and neither of them had any after-school activity, but somehow they missed each other after the final bell rang. Amanda's head was so full of thoughts of the upcoming Valentine's dance. She thought she liked the way she looked in her mother's lip gloss, and she definitely liked the way her nose looked when she turned it up with her knuckle, even though Karen had burst out laughing when she showed her.
That's it.
You want to pull your blanket over? Amanda's head was full of thoughts of the upcoming Valentine's Day dance. She thought she liked the way she looked in her mother's lip gloss. Kenny Eckhart. She wondered if she would send him a Valentine on Tuesday. Maybe he wouldn't get that many, and he might figure out that she was the one who'd sent it. And if he did, maybe, just maybe, he might ask her to dance. She was about a block from her house when she heard it, a faint shuffling sound coming from somewhere behind her. She turned and spotted Walter. His head was down, but she knew that he knew she was there. She slowed her walk, but he slowed his too. Amanda sighed. Poor Walter, she thought. He probably thinking about Valentine's Day, too. She remembered his horrified face when Melissa had called for the vote about the Valentine's box. Finally, she just stopped walking, and Walter caught up. Why didn't you say something, Amanda asked him. You were right there behind me. I'm not feeling very cheerful, he told her. I didn't want to put you in a bad mood, too. You won't put me in a bad mood. What's the matter, Amanda asked, though she knew. I've been thinking about the next Tuesday. I mean, I know I'm not the best-looking, most popular boy at Goodhue, but it's worse than when you have your nose rubbed in it. You know what I mean? I think so. You're worried you won't get any Valentines and everyone else, and you'll be embarrassed. Is that it? Humiliated is more the word, Walter said. I only got one Valentine back in the 3rd grade, and that was from you, Amanda. So? She bristled. What's so bad about that? Oh, no, you know what I mean. We're friends. I mean, friends are different from, I mean, what do you mean, Walter? I mean, if we weren't friends, you would never have sent me a card, would you? Walter, Amanda said, I'm 10 and a half years old. Friends are about all I can handle right now. It's very nice to have friends. I know, Amanda, but you're my only real friend. Amanda felt a lump rise in her throat. His only real friend. How awful. How would she feel if she were Walter? He sounded so miserable, he made her want to cry. How could she make Walter feel better? How could she make more people like him? Well, she couldn't do that. You can't make people like someone. Listen, Walter, she said, you really are a terrific person. You think so? Yeah. Why? Yeah, Amanda, why am I terrific? Amanda swallowed. Well, she said, Walter ducked his head. See, he said, you can't even think of a reason. Amanda thought hard. You're a good friend, she said, and you're very smart, and you're nice to animals. And whenever I'm sick, you always bring my homework right over. Oh, Amanda. No, Walter, the things I'm talking about may not all be that exciting. I mean, you wouldn't see them as a headline in a morning paper or anything, but they're important. I mean, they're important to me. You're nice and you're a good friend. Thanks, Walter sighed. You're a good friend, too. Amanda looked at him. Do you think I'm terrific, she asked. He blushed. Well, sure. Well, okay, I like you, and I'm terrific. So would I like someone who wasn't terrific, too? That was pretty good logic, Amanda thought. Walter thought about it. But why are you the only terrific person who thinks I'm terrific, he asked. They had reached Amanda's front door. Listen, Walter, she said, heading for her porch. Don't worry about it, okay? My dad has a saying. He says it all the time. It goes like this. 99% of the things you worry about never happen. Just remember that, okay, Walter? Ooh, look at that outside, John. Well, okay, he called back. But hey, Amanda, what about the 1%? Oink, oink. But Amanda had just closed the front door behind her. Amanda's experiment. Amanda, is that you? Her mother called. Uh-huh. Good, because I want you to take care of the laundry downstairs, okay? Okay. And then I want you to help Jackie Sue with her project. What project? I'm not sure, but she needs something from the store to finish it. Okay. Was that Walter I just saw leaving? Yeah. Why didn't you invite him in? Amanda leaned against the hall table. She scratched her head just above her left ear. Mom likes Walter, she thought. I like Walter. So how come nobody else seems to like Walter? That's what he wanted to know, and I couldn't answer it. I just told him Daddy's favorite saying about 99% of the things you worry about. She walked slowly towards the kitchen, where her mom was writing letters. Amanda's mom taught morning nursery school, so she was usually home by the time Amanda and Jackie Sue were out of school. Mom, she said, you like Walter Brinkman, don't you? Mrs. Pinkerton looked up. Of course I do, Amanda, don't you? Oh, yeah, I do. But how come no one else seems to like him? Who? Do you mean Karen and Jennifer? Well, no, not just Karen and Jen. The boys, too. I mean, at lunchtime, he always sits by himself, never with the other kids, and sometimes I get teased for being his friend. Mrs. Pinkerton frowned. I'm sorry about that. Her mother worries about him, too. She's a very smart boy and sweet. Amanda nodded. When they were little, Walter knew all about how to build the best sandcastles. He knew how to make mobiles with Play-Doh and paper, and he always knew how to do math in every class from first grade on. And as they grew older, he would tell Amanda what was new in the news and what the professional teams would probably win their games and why. And he knew more about music than almost anyone Amanda could imagine. So how come he was hardly any friends, Amanda asked again. Mrs. Pinkerton put down her pen and thought for a moment. It probably has to do with the way he approaches people, huh? Well, you know, when you see your friends at school every day, what do? Wave and say hi and then run up and catch. Why? What does Walter do? Now Amanda frowned. Well, he kind of drops his head like this, and he kind of doesn't look at anyone.
About to know color means.
No color.
Instead means.
Instead, there's black and white.
Filming off.
Now Amanda frowned. Well, he kind of drops his head like this, and he kind of doesn't look at anybody. Mrs. Pinkerton took a deep breath and then let it out. Okay, she said. Now, if you were another kid, what kind of message would you get from that? That Walter's probably very shy? Aunt Amanda answered, yes, shy. And that perhaps he's someone with very little confidence in himself, right? Oh, right, Amanda agreed. But if you're smart and nice, why wouldn't you have any confidence? Everyone's different, Amanda. I can't explain that. The youngsters who hang back from the group and tend to keep to themselves usually aren't the ones the other children will seek out. Amanda thought that over. I guess, she said, but Walter kind of snorts at you, too. Did you notice? Mrs. Pinkerton had noticed from her expression. Karen calls them honks. He doesn't do it too much, though. It's his laugh, and he doesn't laugh at school a lot. Especially today. Why today? Well, we're having this Valentine's Day box and a dance, too, next week. And Walter's all unraveled about maybe not getting any Valentines, and everyone ignoring him. Well, you'll send him one, won't you? Mrs. Pinkerton asked. Oh, sure. Well, then he'll get at least one, won't he? And speaking of Valentines, I think that's a project Jackie Sue would like to help you with. Jackie Sue Pinkerton was 9, and in the 3rd grade at the Barker Goodhue Elementary School. Lots of times she could be a pain, but mostly Amanda liked her little sister very much. She was smart like Walter. She could do all of her math and even paid attention to some of the news. And she was very outgoing and friendly, and everyone in her class liked her. But she always got invited to all the parties in the neighborhood. I have too many Valentines to send, she explained to Amanda as they sat together on Jackie Sue's bed. You have too many? I have to send one to each of my camp friends. That's about 100 right there, counting my counselor from last summer and the summer before. And I have to send one to each kid in my class and the kids in the other 2 3rd grades. Jackie Sue, I don't think you have to send a Valentine to all those kids. No, I do, Amanda, really, because all the 3rd graders are having a Valentine's box and everyone will expect to get Valentines from me. But you're not supposed to sign your name to the Valentine, so how will anyone know who sent that anyways? Jackie Sue nodded wisely. Trust me, she said. We'll all know. We're having a Valentine's Day box, too, Amanda said. But you're in the 5th grade. They don't usually have them after 3rd. I know. It was Melissa Goodfit's idea. Oh, the one that gets everything she wants? Right. We're having a dance, too. We're not having a dance, Jackie Sue said. Thank heaven. But we were having this Valentine box. So, will you walk me down to Pratchett's so I can buy a whole bunch of those books with the Valentines you can punch out? They're not as fancy as the ones with the lace and stuff, but they're all I can afford. And I need hundreds, believe me. Amanda believed her. She herself would probably only need about 8, counting her parents and Jackie Sue. Okay, she said, but let's go now because I want to get my homework done before dinner. So you can be free to talk on the phone to Karen and Jen, Jackie Sue finished. Let's go, smart mouth, Amanda said. Pratchett's was local 5 and 10. They sold everything from sewing equipment to disposable diapers. There was a whole section devoted to greeting cards. And as usual, this time of year, an entire row of Valentine's cards. Jackie Sue breezed up and down the row in front in seconds. There's nothing here I want, she announced. You didn't even look at them, Amanda protested. Jackie Sue shook her head. Don't need to. I told you, Amanda, it's the books I want. They look like coloring books, you know, big with paper covers. Probably they'll be mostly red. Come on, help me look. They walked up and down the aisle looking and frowning. Finally, Amanda stopped the saleswoman in a pink tunic over red pants. Excuse me, she said, but we're looking for those books that have the Valentine cards to punch out, Jackie Sue finished. The woman looked from one sister to the other. You know, Amanda said, her hands shaping rectangles in the air. They're about this big, they look like coloring books, and they have dotted lines around each Valentine so you can punch them or cut them out, Jackie Sue continued. And they probably have about 50, never mind. I see them, she moved down to the aisle. Thank you very much, Amanda said to the confused saleswoman who watched him go with a blank expression. Yeah, see, Jackie Sue said, picking up a large paper-covered book decorated with pink and red hearts. This is what I want. I guess I'll need about 4 books. That should do it. Amanda flipped through the books. The Valentines were silly, most of them cartoons with dumb sayings. And they were fine for kids who didn't want Valentines with mushy stuff in them anyways. They were also inexpensive, just as Jackie Sue had said. Amanda chewed her lip. These Valentine's books, she thought. Lots of Valentines. Melissa Goodbits. What a neat idea. And I think it would work perfectly, she smiled to herself. Okay, she told Jackie Sue, let's check these books out and get home. But wait, Amanda, I only needed 4. You've got 5 here. I know, Amanda answered. I just had this incredible brainstorm. That night, Amanda did manage to get her homework done before dinner, but she didn't spend the rest of the evening on the phone with her friends. She slipped quietly into her room and closed the door. She picked up the extra Valentine's book that she bought and flopped down on the floor with it. Then one by one, she punched out each Valentine until a pile of them lay in front of her on the rug. She got up and went over to her desk with a big mug with the crest of Syracuse University, her dad's alma mater. Sat, holding pens and pencils of every color. Amanda brought the mug down to the floor, thumped out all the pens and pencils, and began to write on the Valentines. She didn't stop writing until each silly card contained a message. Each message in a different color and each in a different handwriting. All the time she worked, Amanda smiled to herself. She knew it was only Thursday and she had until Tuesday. She had all weekend to do this, if she really stopped to think about it. But she was so excited about the idea that she just couldn't wait. So she worked and worked until her hand hurt. He's going to flip, she squealed out loud. He will absolutely flip. She was finished around 9:30. Amanda, her mother, called from downstairs. How about get some sleep? It's school night. I know, Amanda called back. Soon, she picked up some of her cards scattered around on the rug and continued to smile as she read them out loud to herself. On a drawing of a bodybuilder, "Hi, gorgeous, be my Valentine," signed, guess who? Sorry. On a cartoon snail, "Don't be slow to call, you're my Valentine," signed, "The one who likes you best." On a picture of the shooting star, "I'm falling for you, Valentine," signed, "A secret admirer." Perfect, thought Amanda, just perfect. On Friday, after school, Amanda went to the mall with Karen and Jen, and Laura laughed. They read the comic Valentine cards on display aloud to each other. They giggled over them and teased about the possible recipients, but Amanda didn't say a word about her perfect idea. Friday night, Miss Pinkerton brought home Kentucky Fried Chicken, and they invited the three Brinkmans over to share it with them. Afterwards, they all played Monopoly and Uno and Trivial Pursuit, and everyone laughed a lot and had a good time. But Amanda never said a single word about her perfect idea. On Saturday, the four Pinkertons went to visit Mrs. Pinkerton's mother, called Graham by Amanda and Jackie Sue. Graham baked chocolate chip cookies with the girls while Mr. Pinkerton fixed a broken star rail, and Mrs. Pinkerton looked through the family picture album. They did a lot of talking, but Amanda never said a thing about her perfect idea. On Sunday, Mr. Pinkerton watched college basketball while Mrs. Pinkerton did a Sunday crossword puzzle. Jackie Sue went across the street to play with a friend, and Amanda talked on the phone with Karen. It was a fairly quiet day, but even quieter for Amanda, who never let out a peep about her perfect idea. On Monday, there was a spelling test, and the class began a new social studies unit on Egypt. Jen was absent with a slight cold, but she promised she'd be back on Tuesday for sure. Karen said they'd come drag her out of the house if she didn't show up, and Amanda laughed, but she still kept her lips buttoned up about the perfect idea. Monday night, she could hardly sleep. She thought about the way she would have to do it. She couldn't take any chances. No one could catch her. How could she put all those Valentines into the box without somebody seeing her? Maybe she should ask Melissa how she did it. The next morning, Chapter 4, Broken Heart. The next morning, Amanda was the first one down to breakfast besides her mother, who was always first in the kitchen. "Weren't you the early bird?" her mother noted. "I wanted to ride with Dad today," Amanda said. "Glad to hear it. Won't the bathroom mirror miss you this morning?" "Oh, Mom, just teasing, dear." I know every young girl likes to check herself out a lot. I was a 5th grader myself once, you know. Amanda looked slyly at her mother. "Uh-huh," she said. "And now that you're somebody's mother, you're much too old to be looking in the mirror, right? Mirrors are only for kids." Mrs. Pinkerton yanked on one of Amanda's bright curls. "That's right," she said. "Once you get to be my age, you're just too ancient to think about your looks. Here's some toast. Did you tell Walter to get here early?" Well, go call him, Amanda. It's not nice to strand him here, especially if he's so upset about Valentine's Day, as you explained." Amanda took a deep breath. She should have thought of this part about it. Walter would come to the house and she'd be gone. "I can't call," she said. "I'll wake up the Brinkmans." "Amanda, the Brinkmans are up. Get ready. Getting ready for work." "Oh." Jackie Sue bounded into the kitchen then. "Good morning," she said. "Can I have grape jelly instead of peanut butter?" She made a grab for the toast. "Careful, Jackie Sue, you'll spill." "Oh, Ma, I forgot. I need 2 pink ribbons for my hair today." "You're not wearing braids," her mother noted. "I know, but I will be later. It's for the Valentine's game we're doing for the other 3rd graders. I'm supposed to be a Valentine mailman." "Mailman," Amanda said, but her mother was out of the kitchen looking for pink ribbons. "Honestly, Jackie Sue, why are you always waiting till last minute to tell me about these things?" "Oh, Amanda," Mr. Pinkerton boomed as he came to the kitchen, smelling aftershave lotion. "Finally, we get to share your company, huh?" "Yes, Daddy." "Good. We'll finish up now because I have a breakfast meeting and I have to be on time." He poured himself a cup of coffee and drank it, standing up as he thumbed through the morning paper. "I'm all ready," Amanda said with a grin. Good old Jackie Sue, she thought. Mom forgot all about calling Walter. "Amanda, wear your scarf." "I will, Mom. Now take these, Jackie Sue. They're 2 different pinks, but I don't think your teacher will mind. Will she be able to braid your hair?" "I can braid my own hair. Bye, Mom." Mr. Pinkerton gave his wife a good peck on the cheek. Check the cornflakes box, he said as he grabbed the coat and hat for Valentine. His wife smiled. You check the glove compartment in your car, she called, and waved at him. Jackie Sue dashed out the door, and Amanda was already in the car. Bye, Mrs. Pinkerton, called and waved. Oh, Amanda, what about... But the car had already rolled down a drive. Walter, she finished lamely.
Only works means.
Because it just works a little bit. Not a lot.
Little bit means.
Just a teeny tiny little bit.
Bye-bye, Vaseline had plus writing card because it only works. I only had plus writing player means.
But that's the only way it works. It's on that one thing.
Only that works means.
It only works with that one toy. Just that toy, not on the other toys.
We had plus writing system. Spider-Man card race doesn't work.
No.
One more game.
Yeah, like, do you hurry through this level? How come you play it twice? Is that so you can get all the stars?
Yes.
That makes sense.
Enough, That's it, Filming off.
As she hoped, Amanda was the first one in the classroom. Even Mrs. Craig hadn't arrived, or perhaps she had and was still in the teacher's lounge. Amanda didn't know or care. She had the room to herself. There on Mrs. Craig's desk was the Valentine's box. True to Miss Sims' vision, it was original. There were hearts, but they were royal blue and buff. There was paper lace, but it stuck out of the corner of the box, and the entire creation was covered with shiny mylar. Amanda shook her head at all. It didn't matter what it looked like, she thought. It's going to do the trick for Walter Brinkman. Quickly, she opened her book bag and took out a huge bunch of Valentines she stuffed in it. There was a rectangular slit cut on the top of the box, and Amanda pushed all of her cards through it. Some got stuck, and she had to pull them out and slip them in one by one, but she managed to get them all into the box before. Amanda! Amanda jumped. I'm sorry, dear. I didn't mean to startle you. You're very early this morning, aren't you? It was Mrs. Craig. Yes, did you put your card in? Card. Your Valentine card. Did you remember to bring one, didn't you? Amanda swallowed. She reached into her book bag and pulled out the cards for her girlfriends and Walter, along with another one, a special one, and then Kenny Eckhart's name on it. Good, Mrs. Craig said. Just drop them into the box. We'll be the very first ones, I'm sure, since you're the day's first arrival. Amanda dropped the cards. They fell with a soft plop as they landed on a bunch of cards from the cutout book. I'm glad Melissa had this idea, Mrs. Craig said. I know you're all grown up now, but it's fun to hang on to some childhood things once in a while, isn't it? Amanda nodded. She agreed that it was. Walter was the second to arrive that Valentine's Day. He didn't look like Amanda. He didn't look at Amanda. He didn't look at Mrs. Craig either. He kept his head down and dragged his book bag over to his desk where he dumped it. He unwrapped his scarf, shook off his coat, and took both over to the closet where he tossed them at a hook and miss. They thudded to the floor, and he left them there. Hi, Walter, Amanda called. He didn't answer. I'm really sorry about this morning. I wanted to call you, but my dad was in such a hurry to get to work there wasn't time. Anyways, I figured it wouldn't be too bad since my house was on the way. I mean, you wouldn't lose any time, right? Walter sighed heavily and sank down in the seat. Come on, Walter, you look like it's the end of the world. Walter, did you bring a Valentine's for the box? Mrs. Craig asked him. He looked up for the first time and said, oh, yeah. He got up and walked to the front, carrying a mangled white envelope. It has to be for me, Amanda thought. It was all crumpled and sad, just like Walter. Walter, come on. Can't you cheer up a little? Remember what my dad always said. 99% of the things you worry about never happen, Walter intoned. That's right, but you should say this if you mean it. It's true. She got up and walked over to Walter's desk in the back, while Mrs. Craig put some English sentences to correct on the board. You know, Walter, you always look like you're expecting the world to come to an end every minute, Amanda said. Walter just sat. If anything, his head seemed to sink lower into the desk. I mean, maybe if you smiled a little bit or said hello to someone every morning, it might make a difference in the way people treat you. Walter let out a heavy sigh. That kind of noise doesn't exactly make people want to jump up and down with excitement at seeing you, Walter, Amanda said. Finally, Walter looked up at her. His eyes looked watery. I'm just not the kind of person that attracts others, Amanda, he said. It's hard to look happy when you're feeling bad. Walter, no, he held up his hand. It's true, I have a good brain, so there's a better than ever chance I'll succeed in my chosen career. And perhaps if I'm lucky, there'll be a nice woman who might marry me someday. Though I'm not counting on it. Walter! But I resign myself to the fact that I'm doomed to live out my lower school days as the butt of school jokes. He nodded for emphasis, licked his dry lips, and folded his hands on his desk. Amanda plunked herself down on the seat in front of him and turned to face him. You sound as if you've given this a lot of thought, Walter, she said. Oh, I have, Amanda. I have. You're the only friend I have, and I know it's only because our parents are so close and we've grown up together. I know you're just being nice. Listen, Walter, I'm not being nice. Amanda was beginning to get angry. What's got into you all of a sudden anyway? I don't remember you're talking like this before, and it's Valentine's Day. Is that it? It seems to have brought things to a head, Walter sighed again. Valentine's Day is really just a public popularity contest. It's bad enough to know you're unpopular, and now everyone has to see it too. Did you know what I almost did? What? I almost bought a bunch of cards and wrote my name on them, just to put it in a box, so it would look like as if I actually got something. Amanda chomped down on her lower lip. But I decided I just couldn't sink that low, so I didn't do it. Amanda let out her breath. But I guess maybe you sent me a card, so at least I won't be the only kid in class who's absolutely nothing to open. He gave her a weak smile. Thanks in advance, Amanda. You're welcome, Amanda stood. She glanced towards the box. It didn't look bigger now that it was stuffed with all of her cards. For the first time, she had a few misgivings. Did she do the right thing? Well, it sure was too late now. There were Kenny and Mark and Laura and Karen coming through the door right now. Mrs. Craig had finished the sentences for English, and she had turned to greet the new arrivals. Whatever happened now would happen. The day seemed to drag for Amanda. Jen had returned to school, even though she sniffled occasionally, into a wad of Kleenex. After they finished eating in the lunchroom, the three friends stood together in the hall before going back into their classroom. "Bye, Mom. Didn't want me to come back like this soon," Jen told Amanda and Carrie, "but I couldn't miss Valentine's Day." Can you translate that? Karen asked. Her mom didn't want her to come back this soon, but she couldn't miss Valentine's Day, Amanda repeated. But what about giving us all your cold? Well, which do you care about, getting a cold or having been here? Oh, having you here, of course, Karen giggled. What's a bad cold anyways between friends? Just stand over there, please, Jen, and breathe in that direction. Hey, Amanda began. She was just on the verge of telling them. She was standing on the edge of that cliff, just waiting to drop it all. She needed to know. Was it a good thing she had done? Could it be a harmful thing? It seemed like the perfect idea, all weekend long, even yesterday. Amanda, You look like you're on another planet or something. Amanda said. What is it anyways? Are you worried about the Valentine you sent to Kenny Eckhart? Karen teased. No, I'm not worried. Hey, who told you to send a Valentine to Kenny Eckhart? Karen and Jen giggled. Just a guess, Karen answered. Well, how about you, Amanda pointed Jen. Mark Smith, she said. Jen nodded and sniffed again. And you, Karen, Amanda pointed at her friend. I'll bet it's Andy Moore. Wrong, Karen said, her cheeks reddened. Andy Moore, Amanda repeated, delighted with herself. As a matter of fact, I sent Valentine's to you and Jen, and now I'm sorry I sent one to you. Too late, Amanda reminded her, and then thought again of Walter. Amanda, you've got that look again, Karen said. What is it anyways? Amanda inhaled. Well, she said, I think maybe I'd better ask you about something. I was going to keep it a secret, but now I'm not, so... The bell rang. Fifth graders appeared from nowhere, hurrying to get to the door so as not to be marked late. Someone brushed against Karen, saying a quick, excuse me. We have to go in, Amanda. Oh, sure. We have to go in, Amanda said. Rats, you won't forget to tell us later, will you, Karen asked. Once again, Melissa Gubitz stood at the front of the class, eyeing her fellow classmates. She said, peering on each face. Oh, come on, Melissa, someone called out. Just pick anyone. I won't just pick anyone, Melissa said. I'm going to pick just the right person. Melissa, all we need is someone to hand out the Valentines, Laura said. Don't make such a big deal of it, Kenny Eckhart said. I pick, Melissa waved, her pointed finger around the room, Walter Brinkman. Amanda's jaw dropped. You're a stinker, Melissa, she thought, but she didn't say it. She turned to see Walter, who had tried to hide himself under his desk, and now was appearing to gasp for air in the back of the room. Come on, Walter, Melissa said. We hardly ever hear a peep out of you. It's time you got picked for something. You'll be our Valentine mailman. Amanda thought about Jackie Sue, the third grader's Valentine mailman. At least Walter didn't have to braid his hair. Melissa, Walter was choking, but Melissa had already scooted down the aisle to the back and had grabbed him by the hand. Up, Walter, let's go, she was saying. The whole class is waiting to find out whose Valentine is who. Amanda was slightly relieved to see that Walter seemed to be bearing up. His face wasn't as red as she expected it to be, and it wasn't green either. He wasn't hyperventilating. It looked as though he was pretty steady on his feet. She tried to give him an encouraging smile, but he wouldn't look in her direction. He wasn't looking in any direction. Okay, Walter, we're ready, Melissa said. Walter just stood. Okay, Walter, open the box and take out the Valentines. Mrs. Trigg moved towards her desk. Here, let me see if I can be of some help. She picked up the box and shook it, then turned it upside down and shook it some more. There, she said. That should mix up everything. Now let's get to the top of the box. Open with these scissors, she said. There now, Walter. It's all yours. Walter just stood. I'll help, Amanda said, and stood up. No, Melissa cried. I picked Walter and it's his honor. He's going to do it by himself. Mean little witch, Amanda thought, and sat down. With the whole class staring, Walter finally moved into action. He dumped his hand in the box as if it weren't attached to him and pulled out a handful of cards. Call out the name on the envelope, Walter, Melissa said impatiently. You know what to do. Without looking up, Walter rumbled. Laura left. Laura, Melissa announced. Pass it back. Next. Kenny Eckhart, Walter whispered. Kenny, Melissa yelled. Amanda's heart lurched. Next. Come on, Walter. Oh, give it a rest, Melissa, Karen said. And Mrs. Trigg said, girls. Walter picked up another card. He said. What? Said Melissa. It's for me, Walter said. For you. Yes, Melissa, it's for him, Amanda said clearly. It had been a perfect idea after all. Walter was holding another card. This one's for me too, he said, this time above a whisper, but barely. Did he say it was for him too? Melissa said. Yes, he did, Amanda said. Walter stood a little straighter. Mark Smith, he said, and then this time Melissa didn't have to echo him. Karen Stern, Walter said, and another one for me. Another one, Melissa said. Her eyes were wide. Another one? Melissa said. Her eyes were wide. Yes, he said. Another one. Amanda said through her tight lips. Are you having trouble hearing him, Melissa? And Walter cleared his throat. Another one for me? As he stuffed each Valentine into his box. His voice seemed to get stronger. And his back straighter. And another one? And a smile was beginning to form on his face. Amanda thought he actually looked, well, good. Hey, another one for me. Amanda beamed. The class was watching Walter closely now. He seemed to be changing before their eyes. In between a Valentine for Laura, Mark, Kenny, Karen, Jen, Amanda, Melissa, and everyone else, there were 2 or 3 or 4 Valentines for Walter. There have to be at least 20, Melissa snorted. 50, Amanda thought. I bet he put them all in himself, Melissa burst out. Everyone glared at her. You should know, Karen hissed. Where did your 5 come from? It was a terrible thing to say, Melissa, Mrs. Trigg said from behind her desk. Really, I think you owe Walter an apology. Melissa made a pouty face. Hey, if he stuffed that box, he sure is a good actor about it, Mark Smith said. I sure like watching him look so surprised. Nice going, Walt. Yeah, nice going, Kenny Eckhart began to applaud. Looks like you have a lot of secret admirers in the class, huh? What have you got that I don't? And then it happened, right in front of the whole class. Amanda held her breath. Her eyes widened as she stared at Walter, who had clapped his hand over his mouth. The class burst into sudden laughter, but it was a different kind of laughter than either Amanda or Walter had heard before. And then they were all applauding as Walter shifted from one foot to another. Now he was blushing furiously, but the grin on his face had spread from ear to ear. You didn't tell me you were sending a Valentine to Walter, Laura whispered to Karen. You didn't tell me you were, Karen whispered back. Laura dropped her eyes. Every girl in the whole 5th grade sent Walter Brinkman a Valentine and didn't even know about it, she thought. Jen blew her nose and looked up at Walter, beaming at the class. He's kind of cute standing up there like that, with that nice smile, she thought. Everyone must have seen it but me. Look at all these cards he got. Karen was watching Walter, too. You can tell he's no Melissa, she's thinking. He didn't write those cards to himself. Mark's right. You can see it written all over his face. He was shocked that he got all those cards. He's got that nice, shy quality you don't see in boys anymore. Isn't it funny everyone saw up at me? Amanda was right about Walter all along. Amanda covered her mouth with her fingers. She was afraid she'd burst into delighted laughter if anyone even glanced at her. But there was no need to worry. Everyone was looking at Walter. And look at Walter. Amanda couldn't believe it. She had never seen Walter looking so what, handsome? Well, maybe that was too strong of a word. But he sure looked a lot less like a Cocker Spaniel than he did before. I shouldn't have been so afraid, Amanda thought. I was right. It was not only a perfect idea, it was an absolutely perfect idea. Mrs. Pinkerton stopped cutting out Abraham Lincoln silhouettes for her next morning's nursery school class and put down her paper scissors. What, you did what, she said? I wrote out a whole bunch of Valentines and put Walter's name on them, Amanda said again. Oh, Amanda, that was such a sweet thing to do. I got the idea from Jackie Sue. She probably got at least 50. And then I thought about what Walter's face would look like when he saw he wasn't the most unpopular kid that was ever born. Well, what was it like? Mom, it was just wonderful. I mean, you could watch him just change his whole personality right in front of him before your eyes. His shoulders went back, his head was up, and he was smiling. Walter Brinkman smiling. Well, that must have been a sight worth seeing. It was, Mom. Everyone applauded him, and this is really going to sound weird, but I swear he almost looked taller. Mrs. Pinkerton smiled. No, she said, it doesn't sound weird. When you're feeling pretty good about yourself, you look better. Really? Really? So what happened after that? Amanda took a bite of a cookie and a sip of milk. Well, after that, we had pizza that Mrs. Trigg sent out for her, and then some punch and stuff. Eddie, what happened with Walter? Amanda grinned. All the girls kept coming up to him, offering him extra pizza and talking to him. I mean, I couldn't believe it. It was neat. Did he say anything to you, Mrs. Pinkerton asked? To me? No. Anyways, I couldn't get near him. He had this big crowd around him. Laura Luff actually asked Walter to save her a dance at the party on Friday. Well, Amanda. And no one has any ideas you made all the Valentines. No. Would you believe I nearly told Karen and Jen? I wasn't sure if I'd done the right thing. And I nearly asked them about it. I would have, too, except everyone started coming back from lunch and there wasn't time. So no one knows, just you. Mrs. Pinkerton leaned back in her chair. Well, I'd say that was quite an accomplishment, giving Walter that ego boost he needed. But I guess you'll never get a thank you for it. Oh, no, that was the idea. Anyway, maybe Walter won't drag himself around so much anymore. Amanda, I think you're probably going to be a press agent for a big star someday. Amanda giggled. Yeah, maybe a rock group or something. Well, what about you? Did you get any Valentines? Oh, yeah, I got 4. One from Walter, and the others are from Karen, Jen, and probably Laura. Probably, Mrs. Pinkerton raised her eyebrows. Amanda sighed. Yeah, you always send them to your friends. I did last year, even though we didn't have a Valentine's box. Well, the ones your dad and I found. What are these papers? In a room, which from you are very nice. You'll find yours from us on your bed. Thanks, Mom. That night after dinner, the telephone rang as usual. It's for you, Amanda, Jackie Sue called. It's Karen, as usual. Thank you, Amanda said, as usual. I don't know why I bothered to answer the phone, Jackie Sue sighed. Me neither. Hello? Hi, Amanda. Thanks for the Valentine. Thanks for yours. There was a pause. Did you get any others? Uh-huh. I mean, besides from Jen, you probably got one from Walter, huh? Mm-hmm. I recognized his handwriting. Well, you're lucky. I think you're the only girl in the class that got one from him. I'm lucky? Well, sure. I mean, we've been misjudging him this whole time. His smile was so cute, wasn't it? While he was stuffing all those cards in his pocket. Amanda smiled on the phone. Listen, you have to promise me something, Karen went on. What? You have to promise that you'll never tell Walter I didn't send him a card. Amanda didn't answer, because obviously I was the only one in the entire 5th grade who didn't. I didn't even tell Jen I didn't send him one. Why do you think she never told us she was sending him one? I mean, she's our best friend, isn't she? Do you think all the girls got together and talked about him and then decided to each send him a Valentine? Or do you think they all saw what I must have missed all along? Well, because Amanda, you were right about him, and I was just too dumb to see it. He's got nice shoulders and the way his hair falls, kind of behind his ears like that. Gee, Karen, and the wildest thing of all is that even Melissa saw it. Of all people to pick to be a Valentine mailman, she picked Walter. She never picked him for anything before, not even to do the Pledge of Allegiance. But boy, when it came to Valentine's Day, she made exactly the right choice. Boy, have I been dumb. Melissa picked Walter because she wanted to laugh when he got embarrassed over not getting any Valentines. Amanda thought that's why she picked him, but she didn't say it out loud. Anyway, I think Walter's cuter than even Kenny Eckhart, and he likes you, Amanda. He always liked you. Walter and I are friends like you and I are friends, Amanda said. He's like my brother, Karen. I know, Karen said with a sly note in her voice. But maybe you should think about him in a different way. I know I do. Amanda decided to change the subject. Did you get a Valentine from Andy Moore, she asked. Oh, Andy Moore, Karen snorted. Who cares? Amanda rolled her eyes to the ceiling. The next morning, Walter arrived, as usual, at Amanda's house. And as usual, she was late. Good morning, he said as she came into the kitchen. He was still wearing a bright smile from the day before. Mrs. Pinkerton was smiling right back at him. Doesn't Walter look nice today? She exclaimed. He did, actually, Amanda thought. Uh-huh, she agreed. You'll have to hurry with your cereal, Amanda, her mother said. I don't know why you two don't get a ride with Dad and Jackie Sue. At least her mother was still the same, Amanda thought. I won't be late, she said. Amanda was telling me about your newfound popularity, Walter, Mrs. Pinkerton said. I'm very happy that everyone's beginning to recognize all your wonderful qualities. Thanks, Mrs. Pinkerton, Walter beamed. And thanks for your Valentine, Amanda. Although I'm not really sure which one it was. The expensive one, Amanda thought. You're welcome, she said. I'm going shopping this afternoon, Walter said. My mom's buying me a new pair of slacks for the dance. That's nice, Amanda and her mother both said. Yeah, you know something, Amanda? Your dad was right. He's a smart man. Right about what? Mrs. Pinkerton asked. His favorite saying, 99% of things happen, of the things you worry about never happen. Oh, that, Mrs. Pinkerton said and patted Amanda's shoulders. Yes, he is a very smart man. Amanda noticed a change as soon as she and Walter got inside the school gates. Hi, Walter, someone called. Walter grinned and waved back. Walter, hi, another voice said. Two voices Amanda recognized, Karen and Jen. What happened to hi, Amanda? Hey, Walt, shoot a couple of hoops for the bell, Kenny Eckhart called. Yeah, okay, Walter called back. Hey, Amanda, would you carry my book bag in for me? I'm going to shoot a few with Ken. Right, Amanda said blankly. Shoot a few with Ken. Boy?
Come blankly, please.
Sure. She moved to join her friends who were watching the boys with the basketball. Gee, Walter's not bad, Jen said. Look how he moves. I never saw him play like that before. He never did play like that before, Amanda thought. But he really does look too bad. He passed. That was pretty good. And that shot, wow, it really went in. The way he walks, it's really different. She put down the two book bags to watch. I told him if he smiled and greeted people, they'd all treat him differently, Amanda thought. But this is the most different I've ever seen him. Amanda, Jen said, there you are, on that other planet again. Well, you're loud.
Video. What about
some relaxing music?
Or
Filming.
Amanda, Jen said, there you are on that other planet again. Oh no, I was just thinking, your cold's all gone. Isn't it? I mean, you sound normal again. Oh, sure, I'm fine. My mother made me go to bed at 8 o'clock, same time as my little brother. Do you believe it? She said if I got enough sleep, I'd wake up feeling better. Of course she was right, but I gave her the hardest time. Another planet, Karen said. Hey, Amanda, remember yesterday when you were looking off into space and we asked you what was wrong? Remember? You said you wanted to ask our advice about something. You did. What was it about anyways? Oh, that. It wasn't anything. I forgot about it. Karen frowned. You sure? Oh, absolutely sure, Amanda said. That morning, Melissa picked Walter to pledge a pledge of allegiance. Everyone clapped him on the back as he walked to the front of the room. He grinned at Amanda as he put his hand over his heart. At the end of lunch, Amanda found that Walter wasn't sitting at the back of the room anymore. He had moved to the middle of the room and now occupied a desk between Melissa Gubitz and Jen Carter. Amanda waved to him and he waved back. At the end of the gym, a note was sent around the classrooms. The Girl Scout meeting for the afternoon was canceled. Amanda was glad to have the afternoon free. She thought she might try on some outfits for the Valentine's dance, or maybe her mother would let her use her lip gloss, or maybe she'd see what the other kids were doing. At the final bell, Amanda picked up her books and went to get her coat, where she literally bumped into Walter, who seemed to be facing in 4 different directions at the same time as he chatted with people. Sorry, he said. It's okay. Are you meeting your mom now? Amanda asked. My mom? Yeah, to buy slacks, she said this morning. Oh, right. No, I called her. We're going tonight instead. This afternoon, I'm playing some basketball with Ken and the guys. When I asked them and some of the girls if they wanted to go to the mall. You what? Yeah, I thought it'd be fun to hang out for a little while. Check out the music store and stuff. Amanda stared at him. So you want to come? Do I want to come to the mall with you and some of the kids? Walter tilted his head at her. That's what I said, didn't I? Amanda thought for a moment. How come you didn't ask me before if you asked all these kids? She was starting to feel a little hurt. Hey, I thought you had scouts, okay? Don't have a cow about it, okay? Amanda blinked. Listen, if you're coming, meet us at the basketball court. We're not going to be too long. It's pretty cold out. It's pretty cold in here, too, Amanda thought. A different Walter. She found Jen heading out the front door of the school. Hi, Jen said. You coming? You mean Walter's party at the mall? Walter's party? Amanda shrugged. That's what it sounds like to me. He invited all of his friends to hang out with him at the mall after he plays basketball, of course. Oh, come on, Amanda, Jen said. Amanda looked at her. Come on, what? She asked. Jen looked embarrassed and smiled to cover it. Oh, you know what I mean. But Amanda didn't know what she meant and said so. Jen took a breath, let it out, took another one. Well, gee, Amanda, I mean, you know, she stammered, but Amanda still glared at her, so she tried again. Look, she said, it took Valentine's Day for everybody to show how they really felt about Walter. I mean, we all felt it all along, you know, but no one said anything until we could do it secretly, with anonymous Valentine's cards. We, Amanda thought. You know how it's easier to do things when you don't have to sign your name? We all liked Walter, and well, now he knows it too. I would think that you would be, being his real friend, would be happy for him, but you sound... What? I sound what? Jen made a funny face. Funny, that's all. Funny. Jealous, okay? Honest, Amanda. You sound jealous. Like you still want Walter all to yourself, you know? I mean, I can't say that I really blame you, but... Jen, give me a break, Amanda interrupted. I wasn't talking about me. I was talking about Walter. I was talking about the way he's changing. I mean, you know, how sweet he always was. I mean, yeah, he snorted, but still, he was just nice. And now the nice part doesn't seem to be there. Jen shrugged. He seems to be the same to me, she said, and Amanda realized Jen really didn't know Walter because she hadn't paid much attention to him before, except to tease Amanda about him, so that's it. So anyways, let's forget it. Jen touched Amanda's arm. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, honest, Amanda. You're my best friend. I just didn't want the other kids to hear you say anything bad about Walter, that's all, because then they'd say I was jealous. Yeah, Jen nodded. Well, I'm not. Okay, so you coming to the mall? Amanda had been about to refuse. She was feeling a little angry with almost everyone right now, but she decided to swallow her pride and go along. Maybe Jen's right, she thought. I'm not jealous of Walter, but I guess it would look that way. So she bundled up her jacket and scarf and followed Jen out of the school towards the basketball court. The mall wasn't crowded. It was nearly 4 o'clock on a weekday afternoon, a month and a half past Christmas, and the weather was damp and overcast, so only shoppers who really needed something had dropped by. There were the usual high school and junior high kids who used the malls or home away from home. But Walter's party seemed to be the only group of elementary school children there without their parents. Great, Walter said. We have the place to ourselves. Yeah, you want to check out the new releases? Kenny Eckert asked, referring to the new tapes at the music store. Okay, or we could play the games out in the front of the pharmacy. Let's go to Teamswear, Melissa suggested. Boys can play electronic games and stuff, and we can meet them after. We can get some stuff to eat then. I don't want to go to Teamswear, Karen complained. I don't have any money. It would kill me to see something. I'd just love to not be able to get it. You can come back another time and get it, Melissa sniffed. Not everyone's parents buy them everything they want just because they want it, Karen said. But she didn't look at Melissa. Well, I'm going to Teamswear, Melissa said. Want to come along, Jen? Amanda? I'll come, Laura said. I need some stuff for my hair. I think I'll watch the games, Amanda said, and some of the others decided they wanted to watch too. There were several arcade games lined up outside Reese's Pharmacy, and Kenny, Mark, and Walter grabbed the most popular ones first. Hey, Jen complained. Karen said she wanted Pac-Man. First come, first serve, Walter said with a grin and plunked his quarter in the slot. He never played those games, Amanda thought, and she didn't know whether or not to smile or not. He always thought they were silly. He liked some of the games on the computers, but those were... Her thoughts were broken by Karen nudging her. Isn't he cute? Karen whispered. He doesn't really get it. The game, I mean. She thinks that's cute, Amanda asked herself. I could beat him easily, Karen whispered and giggled. We'll do it, Amanda said. No, I'll do better, Karen decided. I'll teach him. She stepped up next to Walter and explained the game. She spoke softly and encouragingly, and soon Walter was playing his better. He grinned at Karen each time he scored, and she grinned back and patted him on the back. When he saw a score printed out on the screen at the end, he burst into an excited honk. Amanda looked around. No one laughed. When the game was over, Walter broke away from the group and announced he was heading for the music store. As he passed Amanda, who had been standing back towards, she grabbed his coat sleeve. You could have thanked Karen, she told him. It would have been nice. Walter made a face for her. Hey, you think I didn't know how to play that game? I knew. Amanda clicked her tongue against her teeth. Well, I did. Really? Amanda said in the loudest whisper. And what were you doing giving that poor girl a thrill, letting her help you? Hey, maybe she likes to help people, Walter said and brushed past Amanda. In the mall, Walter dominated the CD and tape discussion, but Amanda knew he really didn't know music and had very definite taste. The group of the classmates seemed to hang on his every word and peered at the tiny paragraphs of information on the labels as he spoke. So even when his voice isn't that great, Walter was saying, this really works for rock. I mean, if his voice were better, it wouldn't fit these songs so well. You know, just a picture of good quality sound singing those lyrics in that kind of way he does. It'd never work. Yeah, Mark agreed, frowning. I see what you mean. They were all nodding. Yeah, but what about this group? Jen asked, holding up a small plastic tape box. Oh, they're different, Walter said. Their stuff is import lyrics. They're not just important lyrics. They're not just telling a story. They're making a point. You need a believable soundtrack for that. No screaming. The background isn't as loud either, you notice? Amanda watched the others nodding. He does have a lot to offer, she thought, but he always did. No one cared until they thought everyone else cared, too. The next group met Melissa and Laura at the Nathan's famous hot dog stand. They all sat around at one of the tables, laughing and talking about the dance. Boys wear suits, Melissa said. Yeah, right, Kenny said as he laughed. I mean, you never wear suits except at weddings and things. It would be nice if you wore suits. We girls are wearing our best stuff, right? She looked around the table. I was going to wear slacks, Karen said. No slacks, not even dressy ones. We're all wearing party dresses and stockings, Melissa announced. I don't mind wearing a sport jacket, Walter said. See, Walter's the only one with any taste, Melissa said and folded her arms. Mark shrugged. Sport jackets are okay, I guess. I don't even have a suit. The others didn't either, but they wouldn't admit it. I got a new dress and new shoes, Melissa said smugly. Karen wrinkled her nose in Melissa's direction. I'm wearing slacks, she said. When they finished their hot dogs and colas, they each headed off from the mall in different directions, calling goodbyes to each other at the door. Walter and Amanda fell in together naturally. For a while, neither spoke. Then Amanda couldn't stand anymore. So she said, feeling better? Walter looked blank. I wasn't sick, he said. I don't mean that. I mean about yourself and your life. A couple days ago, you couldn't wait for junior high, remember? You said you'd be treated differently in a new environment. Walter looked at the snow beneath his feet. I did? He asked. Amanda made that clicking noise with her tongue again. Come on, Walter. I was there. I just don't remember, that's all. So now it's all changed, right? Amanda prodded. It doesn't matter about junior high anymore because people are treating you differently, right now? Right, Walter? Walter looked very uncomfortable. People are okay, Amanda. Just cut it out, you know? He turned and walked away. He won't talk about it, she told her mother. It's as if things were always this way. Walter was always popular and it was never any different. I can't believe it. I can't believe Walter, the way you described, Mrs. Pinkerton said. She kept touching her lips with her fingers. I mean, Walter? Amanda nodded vigorously. Well, I mean, you were right. He did stand straighter when I saw him this morning, and of course there was that smile.
Hard to be pleased.
No.
There's our video.
He won't talk about it, she told her mother. I can't imagine Walter being the way that you described, Mrs. Pinkerton said. Amanda nodded vigorously. Well, I mean, you're right. He did stand straighter when I saw him. You know what he'd said? I asked him about why he hadn't said anything to me about going to the mall. He said, she mimicked him, don't have a cow about it, Amanda. Don't have a cow about it? Uh-huh. Mrs. Pinkerton began to laugh. It's not funny, Mom. No, I guess it isn't, Mrs. Pinkerton agreed. Amanda was on her bed doing her homework when Jackie Sue tiptoed in. You busy, she asked. Yes. Well, stop being busy. I want to ask you something. It's about Walter Brinkman. Amanda put down her pencil and turned her head to face Jackie Sue. What about Walter Brinkman? Well, I didn't mean to overhear, but I happened to be in the tub when you were talking to Mom, and I happened to hear you telling her how different Walter is. Amanda closed her eyes and dropped her head to the pillow. That was all she needed. Mrs. Congeniality from lower school, knowing about what happened with Walter. Jackie Sue, why don't you call one of your friends and have a nice long talk before dinner, she suggested. We don't talk on the phone, remember? You don't start that until 5th grade. Anyways, I really want to know, what happened to Mr. Nobody Likes Me? He never said that. He did too. He says it all the time. Not anymore, Amanda thought out aloud, she said. Well, if you have to know, he doesn't think that way anymore. He doesn't? Why not? Amanda decided with an inward sigh that the truth was probably the best, but not necessarily the whole truth. Well, actually, he was worried about Valentine's Day and the dance and everything. But I told him what Daddy always says, whenever you're unhappy. 99% of the time, things you worry about never happen. And Daddy was right again because Walter got some Valentines after all. I know, Jackie Sue said softly, and they were all from you, right? Amanda's mouth opened. How did you know, she asked. Well, I may be young, but I'm not dumb. You bought the extra Valentine book of Cratchits, and you spent hours and hours in your room with them spread all over the floor on your bed and everything. My door was closed, Amanda snapped. Not every second it wasn't. Besides, you only had the one green pencil. and I came in to borrow it, and I just happened to see Walter's name on every single. Amanda glowered at her. I didn't say anything to anyone, Jackie Sue said, holding up her hands. I swear. Amanda sighed. So when the Valentines made him feel better, but now he thinks he's king of the hill, right? Like you told Mom. Well, Jackie Sue nodded. I know, I've seen this before. Jackie Sue, I have on TV. Jackie Sue, Amanda, I have seen this on the tube. Seen what? It was an old movie, black and white, no color. What was it? Frankenstein, that's what. Frankenstein? Yeah, this guy, he's a doctor or something. And he wants to make a real human out of old parts. Or something. I know, Amanda said, sitting up. I've seen Frankenstein. The doctor does this experiment to see if he can make a real person in his laboratory. Right, and he does. Only person he makes turns out to be a monster, and it's totally out of the doctor's hands anymore. Amanda leaned back against her headboard. And in the end, he had to be destroyed, Jackie Sue finished. It was neat, and that's what I thought of when I saw how Walter changed. You made a new person out of him. Don't you think it sounds like the same story? No, I don't think it sounds like the same story, Amanda said loudly, and hoped her face hadn't turned red. Nobody built a new Walter in a laboratory, and he's not a monster who has to be destroyed in the end. It was just the opposite. People made him feel wanted, so now he feels better, and he behaves as though he feels better, and that's all. So go back to your room and let me finish my homework. Jackie Sue jumped off the bed. Okay, I just thought you said you don't like the way Walter has changed, and that's what made me think of. Out! Jackie Sue got out. Amanda leaned back on her pillow. It's not the same story, she said to herself. Walter's not a monster, and I'm not the doctor who has to destroy him. She sat up quickly. That's nuts, she thought. Jealousy. The next morning, Amanda came into the kitchen when her mother asked why she couldn't be earlier so she could get a ride with her father and sister. There was a cereal in the bowl with a banana in it, and it was still cold outside, but there was one change. Walter didn't come by to call for Amanda. At 8:45, he still hadn't arrived. Mrs. Pinkerton was frowning at the clock. Do you suppose he's sick? No. Mrs. Pinkerton picked up a box of color construction paper she was taking to work and put it on the table. Then she leaned on the box and looked at Amanda. Do you think this is part of Walter's big change? Amanda put down her spoon. Mom, has Walter ever missed calling for me? Well, even when we called to tell him I was sick, he still dropped by anyways, just in case it got better in the last minute. Mrs. Pinkerton smiled. It's not funny, Mom. You're right, it's not. I feel like the Walter we knew moved away or something, and this weird clone moved into his house and took over his body. Mrs. Pinkerton took Amanda's coat off, the coat rack, and brought it to her. Sounds like you've been watching too much TV, Amanda. She thought about Jackie Sue's description of Frankenstein, maybe. Maybe I should have paid better attention, she said. Walter was playing basketball in the playground when Amanda got to school, so she didn't get to say anything to him until they met at the door to their home room when the bell rang. Hi, Walter said, and moved towards the closet. Wait a minute, Amanda grabbed the sleeve. Did you notice something different about this morning? Walter swallowed. Different? Walter Brinkman, have you ever missed calling for me on the day of school? Amanda put her hands on her hips and glared at him. Walter scratched his head. Oh, yeah. And he said, listen, I just left early this morning. I wanted to get here to, shoot some hoops. Yeah. A call would have been nice. The corners of Walter's mouth turned down. Yeah, well, you didn't call me when you came to school early on Tuesday, did you? Amanda drew in her breath. But that was different. That was because she stopped. She realized she couldn't really finish. She couldn't tell Walter that she had come to school early with Valentine she'd made for him. Now we're even, Walter said. Besides, I met your dad and Jackie Sue outside and they gave me a ride. You should really get up earlier and go with them, Walter said. Why throw away a free ride? He pushed his way into the room. Walter, Melissa squealed. Listen, I want you to hear this tape. I bought it yesterday at the mall. It was the one you said you liked, and maybe we could play it tomorrow at the Valentine dance. Oh, sure, Melissa. I brought my Walkman so you could hear it at lunch. Great. I know you'll love it, Melissa snorted. Amanda stared at her. In the lunchroom that day, Amanda watched a group of kids surround Walter at the table. There were kids from the other 2 5th grades gathered, too. Walter seemed to be talking to them all about the music that would be played on the stereo at tomorrow's dance. Everyone was smiling. Everyone was nodding. Everyone was making Amanda sick. He really knows what he's talking about, doesn't he? Karen said. She was sitting next to Amanda, picking pieces of green pepper out of her tuna fish sandwich. Yeah, Amanda said, he does. He knows music. Funny, we never really talked to him much before. I didn't really appreciate him. You did, though. You were right, Amanda. Amanda didn't say anything. She had been right then, she thought, but right now, she wasn't feeling so appreciative. I told my mother, please don't put green peppers on my tuna, Karen complained. And she said, then make your own sandwich. So, of course, I didn't have anything to say to that. Amanda, Jen said, you too was watching Walter and his groupies. Do you think Walter might ask to dance tomorrow? I mean, has he ever mentioned me to you? Amanda looked at her friend. Her eyes were wide. I'm not kidding, Jen said. I know, Amanda said. Jackie Sue was right, she thought. I made a monster, just like Frankenstein. So what do you think, Jen answered? As far as I know, Amanda answered, Walter Brinkman never once danced a single step in his whole life. Oh, Amanda, you're funny, Jen said. Amanda had had enough. She sat up straight in her chair and looked at the two girls who had been her best friends since they were all in kindergarten. Listen, she said. Are you the same people who used to kid me about being friends with Walter all these years? Don't you remember? I mean, it was only Monday you were teasing me for walking to school with him. Right before you got all those Valentines. Remember? Karen made a face. I told you, Amanda, we were wrong. I mean, I apologized and everything. You were right and we were wrong. What more can I say? She spread her arms wide. That's not what I mean, Amanda was exasperated. I mean, what changed your minds about Walter? What made you think he was the hottest thing on the planet all of a sudden? What was it? Karen and Jen looked at each other. It was a Valentine's, Amanda said. Forget about keeping it a secret, she thought. Now I'm mad. It was a Valentine's, remember? You only started to think Walter was so cool after you thought everyone else thought so too. Jen slurped her milk to her straw and put down the container. Amanda, listen. Remember what I said to you yesterday? I remember, Amanda said. You thought I was jealous, but I'm not. Honestly, I'm just mad. Mad? Why? Karen asked. Because Walter was nice before everyone thought he was nice. And now he isn't anymore. Because I wanted Walter to feel more popular. So I was the one who sent him the Valentines. And all it did was make him a conceited jerk. And now he's a big conceited jerk. Do you think he's terrific? That's why I'm mad. Karen and Jen looked at each other again. They looked at Amanda. It's true, Amanda yelled. Lunchroom quieted down. Everyone looked at her. It's okay, Jen said, smiling. We just spilled something. It's okay. The room picked up its noise hum again. Listen, Amanda, Karen said. We won't say anything to anyone about this, so don't you either. You don't believe me? Amanda stared at them. Oh, come on, Amanda. You sent those Valentines. There must have been 30 or 50. 50, Amanda said. You sent 50 Valentines to Walter Brinkman, Jen said. She and Karen giggled. I did. It took me an entire night. Practically. My hand even hurt. The bell rang and Karen and Jen stood up. Listen, Amanda, we're your best friends and we promise we won't tell anyone, okay? It just made you feel kind of funny about not having Walter all to yourself anymore, and then you'll feel better, Jen said. She and Karen went to dump their trash in the bins near the door. Then, that night at supper, Amanda told Mr. Pickard the whole story, and his family spent the meal discussing it. I think you should tell Walter you sent him the Valentine's, Jackie said. Maybe he'll get down off his throne. Oh no, Amanda cried. I couldn't do that. Why not? He's popular now, so that's part okay. And if you tell him, then maybe he won't be such a stinker anymore.